Ha ha! You better choose yourself and let's get it. Welcome to another episode on the Choose Yourself channel. Now, it can get lonely choosing yourself. Trust me, I know. But that's what the CYC is for. And the TEFIC, the Choose Yourself process. Trigger, environment, foundation, investment, contribution. Come on now. So we got a special guest, very special guest. First time I met him, he asked me to come spot him. I'm like, boy, you about 65 years old. What I'm going to do? Come spotting you. OG Greg picked up the goddamn hundreds. I said, whoa, I need to step my game up. Started chopping it up with him in the gym, and, you know, his energy and his wisdom was profound. So I said, you got to come on to the Choose Yourself channel and spread the love. Because we trying to GYM, and you know what that is. Come on now. There is always a catalyst, something that propels you. What is that? In the TEFIC, we call it the trigger point. Now, you might be forced to change, but the change won't last for long if you didn't do the healing before the breaking point surfaces your feelings. Come on now, did you tap into the last episode? What you doing? They're not accidents, they're alarms, a signal for change. Okay? I remember when I was ignoring all kind of triggers, kept relapsing into masking, numbing, people-pleasing, never wanting to be alone. That's that BS right there. The true growth comes when you can be satisfied with who you are in solitude, okay? And you're going to keep hitting them breaking points until you do the healing. Now, let's talk about the self-choice layer. It's that space between emotions and actions that gets strengthened by doing things that you said you would do. That's what the foundation is for. You implement the systems and self-commitments so that when that voice comes up talking about, oh, stay in bed, don't drink water, hit the vape, oh, I want to doom scroll, boo-hoo, it's cold, I don't need this job. You get to choose your intention over emotion and build that momentum for the day, okay? Now, when you don't heal it, it's going to repeat with a louder lesson, all right? The amygdala is responsive. It's going to fire up due to your environment before you can even choose how you want to feel. That's the importance of meditation, because the thoughts come and go like the clouds, but the clouds provide rain. And you ask for flowers, and now you want to complain about the terrain in the rain. What you doing? You can't repair your roof in the rain because you're going to slip and bust your shit. Now you're all wet in your house with no roof. And he talks about the transition from music into fitness. Well, first he was in the hood in the Bronx. Then he went into music and football. Then he went into training people. And now he helps people train based on their human design. You know how I feel about that. Listen, I don't care what you believe in. Shit, Chinese is real. I don't know how to speak it, but people be using it. All right. So it's not about how you connect with who you are and your authenticity. It's about the fact that you do and you believe in yourself. However you do that is up to you. I don't care if you hugging trees, counting stars, counting sheep. Well, don't be counting sheep for too long, because at some point you got to get up and skip the snooze. What you doing? To thine own self stay true, but also change rooms. That's a quote from Greg. Meaning, your environment becomes your self-belief system. So pay attention. Nowadays, they got this protect your peace and cut people off, and I don't do toxicity, and I'm offended. Well, you running from the lessons. The whole point of being triggered is to figure out why. I say sit in it. I'm working on it myself. If somebody trigger me, I'm just going to sit there and nod like, damn, you playing the victim with your fat ass. I'm playing, not really. But we did talk about people being overweight. And Greg said, you can't judge somebody for being overweight. I said, boy, I'm judging, because if it wasn't for humans and all these damn convenience and quick fixes and medication and pity parties, there wouldn't be no obese people. Just like there's no obese any other species, because then you die. That's just how it is. But we keeping people alive. Now we got overpopulated, over-toxified, over-processed, trying to keep up with the consumption demand to get that money. They don't want you healthy or dead. They want you sick and obese. All right, so choose yourself. At some point, you got to hit that trigger point. But until then, you're going to keep playing the victim, and that's for sure. So your toxic food going to inflame your gut. Your toxic screens going to inflame the mind. Your toxic people going to inflame your identity. We trying to eliminate inflammation. What you're doing. It's not just what you eat, what you drink, what you smoke. It's what you're watching, what you're listening to, who you follow when you scroll. Listen, if it's a girl showing titties and ass on my feed, I'm going to block and delete. That's just it. I don't care what the page is for. Why are you putting that in my mind in the middle of the day? Now you got my shit tingling. But good thing I got the mastery of the mind, so I can let my thoughts flow through in one ear and out my ass. Come on now. Now you know the gut and the mind were combined when we developed in the womb. Literally, one entity, and it split with your spine. And now your gut tells your mind how to feel, how to think through the vagus nerve. Now I ain't talking about Las Vegas. I'm talking about the vagus nerve. For real. That's why when you eat like shit, you feel like shit. That's why when you freaking feel that gut feeling, you got a different type of thoughts in your mind about what's going on in your environment. All right. And so you can't keep healing. You cannot heal in the same environment that keeps applauding your dysfunction. But the true test is, can you go back to that environment and not slip back into the old version? But you better know your capacity, because you don't want to snap and go right back, fall on your back. See, that's the problem. That's why you should have stretched. Now, if your environment is not feeding you, it's eating you. And Greg talks about that transition between going from the streets in the hood on the black market into personal development and growth. And that's a similar trajectory as most of us, well, maybe not the streets and black market, but dark days. It don't matter what it looked like. Your dark day could be you lost your dog. That's the dog days then, or lack of dog days. My dog days is different than your dog days, okay? You might have grew up rich, but your parents was whooping your ass. That sound dark to me. Or raping your ass. Whoa, pause. See, don't be so sensitive. I told y'all in the first episode. This is real life shit. People go through it. All right? Pillar 3 of the TEFIC. The foundation. Y'all know this saved my life. We got the foundation program, 30-day, 90-day. You better hurry up. Because at some point, you ain't going to be able to move at all. I ain't playing. You complain about leg day, you got people with no legs. You complain you ain't got red bottoms, and some people ain't got no feet. You complaining about doing laundry. Have you walked around New York City and seen the dang shopping carts full of shit people ain't washed ever? Put some gratitude in your attitude. You see, comparison can be the thief of joy or the booster of gratitude, depending what you comparing to. Are you comparing to the person with the mansion or the person with a box? The person with the Lambo or the person with a bike? The person with a big head or the person with no dick? Oh, shit, because I'd rather have a big head than no dick. I tell you that much right now, for sure. Now, my transformation didn't come from inspiration. Well, slightly. I started reading. So grow your mind, y'all. But in this transition, first, I started with a kick-out time. No sleepovers during the week, 8 o'clock in the crib. Then I started with getting up on time and skipping the snooze. Then I started with putting the screens down on time before my sleep. Then I started with doing more than just exercise. I started journaling and meditating in the morning, getting spiritual with it, reading all kind of spiritual shit. Right now, I got the Quran over here. I'm coming out with the TEFIC. It's a spirituality alignment material book, putting all top 5 religions in one book and how they relate to the choose yourself process, the TEFIC. And anytime you experience adversity, remember this. F it back to the TEFIC. Hey, F it back to the TEFIC. F it back to the TEFIC. So just think about that. You got a little anxiety, depression, self-doubt, self-sabotage. Somebody manipulated you. You ran into a narcissist. Somebody talking shit. Hit them with this. F it back to the TEFIC. F it back to the TEFIC. But you got to say the k at the end. Otherwise, they're going to be like, what's a TEFIC? A TEFIC, taffy? Nah. So you got 6 pillars of the foundation. That I did not make them in this order. I started with kick out time, then skip the snooze and exercise, but I wasn't good with my digital sunset until I moved to New York City. So the 6 pillars that we will go through in the 90-day foundation, we talk about in the CYC every Tuesday, 10 a.m. EST. We're going to be hitting these webinars on Saturdays, 3 p.m. EST, GYM, grow your mind, stop playing with your life because it can't be replayed. It's not a game. 6 pillars. 1, curfew, kick out time. You got to get home on time or you got to kick the company out. I don't care if you're in the middle of the act. Could be in the middle of the deep stroke. That alarm go off, girl, you got to go. Ain't nobody coming tonight. We both going. You going home, I'm going to bed. Come on now. Pillar 2, digital sunset. Put the screens down. Here's a tip. Between pillar 1 and pillar 2, you do what you do right now, right before bed. You take whatever you do right before bed right now, you put that between your kick-out time and digital sunset, and then you got from your digital sunset to your reading bedtime for you, solitude, self-commitments. Now, whatever you want to do to gradually wind down, activate your melatonin, activate your circadian rhythm, whatever you got to do, hot bath, stretch, meditate, journal, I don't read, what you want to clean, I don't care what you do, but start to let your body know you're going to sleep. Don't be bringing that blue light to your bed. You know your mind thinks it's still daytime? All right, now when you get to your bedtime, get in bed, read a book out of real book. I got my book, Choose Yourself to Be Chosen, but you could do any book. I got more books coming out, all right? And then in the morning, skip the snooze, get up on the time you said, brush your teeth, scrape your tongue, wash your hands, wash your ass, and then activate your morning routine. Mind, body, spirit. Tap into the book, tap into the courses, tap into the CYC and the foundation programs. We can customize one just for you. All right, then you get to your kids. Then you get to your phone. Then you get to your emails. But not till you fill up your cup so you can pull from an overflow. And Greg is a personal trainer now, so he knows all about this. Your brain gonna reshape every time through repetition. Repetition and reshaperation. And your creator can't elevate the version of you that still refuses to set an alarm and get up on time. He can see you, what you're doing. Pillar 4, investment back into yourself. That's what it means to fill up your cup and then pull from an overflow. Greg said, we all need help. Coaching changed me. It's a shortcut to the answers. Now, I just started really looking and seeking for mentorship. But in my eyes, I feel like if I can find growth partners where we both got the same mission, I can learn something from everybody. But I really read a lot of books. I do a lot of research. I coach. You can have somebody you ain't never met, that you ain't never talked to, that could be your coach. David Goggins, Joe Dispenza. Them my coaches. Who else? Where my book at? David Dieter, Robert Greene. Them is my coaches. I read their material. All right. Now, joining the community is another way to find coaching, because the testimonials help you train differently when you know it's possible. It's about growing your mind, shifting your paradigm. So it's not always about money. It's your time and energy back into yourself, into your foundation, the time before and after your sleep, without people, screens, or toxins. All right. So you invest your time and energy into your foundation to be able to control your environment and then develop into that version that you were supposed to be from the womb to the nipple before society tried to make you someone you're not. And that's how you create and contribute back to humanity. Now, if you're trying to create and contribute from a character you learned in the dang school system where they raise workers, that you learned in the justice system where there's all kind of imbalance, that you learned in your church, which is one of freaking hundreds of religions, well, guess what? You create an A character for the things you learn, not your character for the thing you was created to be. And that's the purpose of choosing yourself, all right? What you feed grows, what you starve dies. Simple. That's why you got to break free and then find your balance. Now, the overflow or the overwhelm, pillar 5, contribution. If you are providing for people so that you can feel like they appreciate you, you feeling you half-assing your life. If you put people first, you're like, oh, but my kids, but my work, and you can't go to sleep on time, control your consumption, wake up on time, exercise, meditate, pray, you are half-assing your life. Because if you did those things first for you, you'd be able to be more productive for the people in your circle and your community. That's why it's choose yourself to be chosen, all right? Now, a lot of people will go out pleasing others, contributing to others. Mama D's a big part of that. I've seen it my whole life. How you gonna go bring them a plate? We hungry. Come on now. Seeking validation, seeking appreciation because they ain't got no validation and appreciation for themselves. But once you flip that switch, increase your self-worth, the value of your choices change. The value of your relationships change. And I'm not just talking about relationships with people. I'm talking about relationships with money, addiction, pop culture, politics. Your relationship with everything changes when your relationship with yourself is activated. All right, so y'all stay tuned in. Big Greg, true wisdom, man. OG, I think he about 60-something. Strong, still putting up them hundreds. So if you over 60 talking about, oh, it's too late, I don't want to hear it. If you over 60 talking about, my body hurts, mine too, it's sore from working out. And that's the thing. I heard somebody say the other day, one of them young bucks. That's how you know I'm getting to that age. Time wisdom. One of them young bucks was like, well, if I'm a die at 65, I'm gonna die at 65. Then I'm like, you ain't gonna die. You're gonna be sick for 20 years at the end of your life. You don't just get to 65 and then die healthy. Oh, you sacrifice and sabotage and neglect your body for 60 years, then 65 to 85 is hell. So what you doing? Where's your gratification? Instant or delayed? Because you could play with your life, but it can't be replayed. It's not a game. You know the formula. 20% instant, 80% delayed. You better choose yourself and fill up your cup and pour from an overflow because your life can't be replayed. So if this sounds like something you're trying to get into, if this is a process that can help you transform and transition onto your next mission, tap in with the CYC every Tuesday, 10 a.m. EST. Now we got the Choose Yourself webinar for the Choose Yourself and Gut Repair Solution. Bring your question. I'm bringing on experts and testimonials once a week, every week. So download the webinar link to stay up to date with the events and resources I got coming out. Well, I got to stop saying I, because at this point, it's a we thing. Because ain't no me without the CYC. In the meantime, in between time, big dream time, super green time, gut clean time, routine time, dopamine time. Keep the gratitude in your attitude and always choose yourself.